Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Season 11, Episode 10 of The Walking Dead is up on AMC Plus now. It'll be out next week, the February 27th on regular TV. So, spoiler warning if you haven't seen the episode yet, I'll be talking about that and don't want to ruin it for you guys. Just a reminder, if you guys are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We're really close to 200 subscribers at the time of recording this, so thank you guys for all the support. And if you're new to the family, be sure to subscribe as we got Walking Dead content coming out. Yeah, so this episode, called New Haunts, season 11, episode 10, it was definitely a slower episode than the last, but I think it was really important for what we needed because it gave us a lot of the inner workings of the Commonwealth. So it's a quick little time jump, 30 days into the Commonwealth after our group went there. Notable to say, we didn't see Maggie, Aaron, Lydia, and it was even referenced that Ezekiel said to Carol, like, have you heard from Lydia or Maggie? And she said, I'm sure they're doing fine. And at one point, you hear Daryl say something about them that they're rebuilding Alexandria back home. So I wonder if there's a group outside that's like working on the communities. Maybe that's like, maybe they end up not like wanting to come to the Commonwealth, and that's like the at odds that we've seen at the end of episode 9. But that's yet to be determined. Just trying to kind of, based off what we see, and get some ideas out there. So I threw that in there. Well, we got Daryl, RJ, and Judith going through the haunted maze, which is, I thought it was really crazy that they had walkers actually in the maze and kind of like disregarding like the actual danger of them. And then there's one guy with really good makeup twitching around, scaring RJ, and Daryl tells him to hold up, and dude was really chill about it. And what's really crazy to me about this is like Daryl's obviously skeptical, but he's also like kind of enjoying it, and it almost is on the like behalf because the kids were really liking it there. So like obviously Uncle Daryl wants to keep them safe because that's who like that's one of his biggest priorities at the moment. And yeah, like Judith is making a friend. RJ is thinking like what they got going on is cool there. Judith definitely wants to stay there long as Michonne can find a way back, find a way back to them. Um, like a cool little tidbit we found out during the parade while it was going on. Connie, and this was in the spoilers if you guys watched the video I put out earlier this week too. So the spoilers ended up being pretty accurate. Um, so Connie was a reporter before the fall, and Pamela's family has been in politics apparently since before the fall of the zombie apocalypse. And one of Connie's reports got Pamela's uncle thrown out of office. We also learned that her dad was a president at one point. Pamela, so we had a President Milton before the fall at some point, so that's pretty cool. Sure, we're gonna get some more like tidbits on that throughout. I don't know, kind of how they're built. This is a much more enjoyable Pamela so far than what I like encountered in the comics, so it's pretty cool. Um, yeah, we got a lot. They got a big ball happening Friday for Halloween night. Um, some things that going on with Ezekiel. So like Jerry and his family, they were dressed up as like animals and stuff, and Ezra actually used Shiva's leash. Ezekiel borrowed it, and he went to give it back, and Ezekiel ends up giving it back to them. So as long as this makes you as happy as it made me, and you always like honor Shiva, remembering when you're playing with it. And like Jerry's like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm sure." And it kind of makes me think about like when well, because later in the episode Ezekiel brings to Carol, and Carol and Ezekiel have a pretty nice moment for the first time in a while. Brings Henry's box, and it's like basically we know Ezekiel's got cancer, and to me, I kind of caught this vibe that was kind of lingering in the background that maybe he's giving away the things that are important to him to the people that deserve him, that are also it would be important to them, because he realizes he might not be around much longer. We had Carol snooping around in the, trying to figure out what's going on with Ezekiel, and ends up talking with Tommy, who we see as a doctor now, after he got arrested in the first part of the season. And finds out that he's just way too far on the list for how severe his case is. And so Carol somehow gets outside the walls, finds this wine factory conveniently that has still wine that hasn't been raided. And she does this because she overhears Lance trying to get wine for the masquerade ball that night, and the assistant said that it wasn't going to be good enough. He's like, "Well, I have no time. This is the best I could find with that." So Carol goes gets this good wine to basically bribe him, and now we got Carol and Lance working together. There's going to be things that Lance wants Carol to do, and he's going to help her out by getting Ezekiel to the front, like as high up on the line. And we could see like the little preview for next week. Apparently, they're gonna keep working together. We even seen that towards the end of this episode. So I thought that was a really crazy dynamic. It does look like there's a chance Ezekiel and Carol might be rekindling some relationship too, as well as Carol asked Daryl why, or told Daryl that you should ask Connie to the dance. And he's like, "Nah, I gotta work." But they be really nice when it came to Carol and Ezekiel and Daryl and Connie. I'd really like for them one, you know, Daryl and Connie to get a new relationship, for Ezekiel Carol to get back together. I think it would just add a really fun dynamic, especially if they're on kind of like separate sides of what they think's going on with the Commonwealth. That could add some interesting story into the mix. Um, Judith made a new friend, and her friend buys her a record, which at the end of the episode, when Daryl's eventually got money, gets her a record player for it, and I think he's pretty happy because it's Motorhead, and sounds like that was something he was into before the fall. And the friend brought up an allowance, and she asked Daryl for an allowance, and he's like, "Do you think I should get established at my job and before we can talk about this again?" But yeah, we got Daryl and Rosita going through the Commonwealth training, and the training mission was interesting. So basically, as teams of two, he split Daryl and Rosita up, so they all had a random on their team. And Rosita's random seemed a little bit more up to par. Daryl's not so much. But the thing was to be quick and work as a team, which Rosita's team did pretty good. Even this like badass kill where like Rosita breaks the zombie's ankle, or basically breaks legs at the knees and uses one of the legs sharp bone as a weapon. That was pretty cool. Daryl's being badass and getting things done, but like at the end of the episodes on AMC Plus, there's a little insider thing where Angela Kang or other producers get on and talk about the episode a little bit. And she was saying, like, in Daryl's mind, he thought he was doing something kind of helpful because he's used to fighting with the people he knows, and having a knife on you is convenient, is a luxury. So he gave the guy the knife thinking he could handle his own, and that he would, would use like what's around him and all that. But apparently that wasn't like up to the point, like the spirit of the mission wasn't passed in Mercer's eyes. So Mercer takes Daryl on with the special mission, and Rosita doesn't want to leave Daryl alone. So she comes, and like Sebastian makes this little smirky comment like, "Oh, she can volunteer to help, especially if she looks like that," because Mercer just wanted Daryl. And well, so basically they got Sebastian out there, and he's like learning to kill walkers and stuff. And of course, all the weapons that they had were the weapons from our Alexandria group. And it was, Daryl's like, "What the fuck?" He's not into it. And at some point, Pam, like, while he's killing walkers and he's starting to struggle with one, Pamela's walking by. It looks like she just got done hunting. So maybe this Pamela is more badass than the one in the comics, because I talked about in the trailer breakdown video for this for episode 10, that how in the comics they would take Pamela out to with a group of Commonwealthers to basically shoot a walker and make it look like she's doing her thing to help out. Maybe this Pamela Milton's more adept than the one from the comics, which I'm for it. That adds a cool twist. And so far, this Pamela is more likable than the one from the comics to me. Like this little first impression I've had. But yeah, so Daryl ends up shooting an arrow to save Sebastian. He flips shit. It's a kind of like a parallel of when Eugene saved him, and he's like, "What the hell, man?" I mean, basically, same kind of reaction. And he storms off. You know how it goes. Like Sebastian's gonna be someone that we just do not like. We do not like at all. Got the ball going on. We got Mercer and Princess. Their relationship from the comics looks like it may be happening. They had a really fun flirty moment. Got to go to the ball together. The soldier from the extra episodes from season 10 that Princess beat up is now a server at that ball, and he just wanted to talk to Pamela, but he couldn't get her attention, so he ends up holding the assistant at knife point, and he actually, I just remembered something from that part, but I'll talk about it in a second. Um, it's holding her at night point, and Pamela's like, "No, I want to hear you." And he's like, I made one mistake, and this you don't care about us, and you just throw us to the side, all that kind of stuff, like she was making it sound like, you know, Pamela was like, "I want to hear you out. I want to know what's going on," and he ends up so. I guess the assistant's name is Max. I don't know. I kept hearing how the one Stephanie was a fake Stephanie, and that was supposed to be the real Stephanie. But I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe we'll find out more as it goes. But she was whispering to him like, "I'm with you. I'm one of you," or something like that. And that's when he was like, "I'm sorry," and he took off running. Well, Daryl ends up trapping him in the fun house. He's about to commit suicide. He's like, "Hey, you got family. Not fair to them. That's a lot more than a lot of us can have. Don't do that to them." And he ends up talking him out of to committing suicide and arrest him. And as he's leaving, Sebastian's like, "Oh, you finally did something right." Sebastian's at the door of the haunted house. And Daryl decides to be a team player. At least this is the way I'm taking that scene, and let Sebastian turn him in. And I think that's what ended up being able to let like Daryl be full soldier at the end of the episode, day 33, at that time jump. And yeah, so like I think he's learning a little bit of I think that was like kind of like him like kind of buying in for a moment there. And yeah, so then at day 33 we see Daryl's apartment's a little bit better. He's in Commonwealth gear, and he got a record player for Judith to be chilling with, listening to that record. And Rosita's going with the team to try to figure out where more of these supposed thousands of the resist the Commonwealth people are, the resistance. And they end up going into this bunker and or into this dude's apartment, and they go behind the or she's looking in the closet, sees there's like a little push away door, and there's all kinds of gear back there, all kinds of things like signs, spray paint stuff, flags, all kind of stuff. So we're gonna get to see like how the resistance really is working. Let me read through my notes real quick, make sure I'm not really missing anything I talked about here. Um, Tomi was saying to Yumiko inside the ball how like this is like he was just fine being on the other side. So it seems like he really didn't want to be a doctor and still doesn't want to be a doctor. We got Lance and Carol are going to be working together, and that's going to be interesting. Like, what is Lance's motives? Lance wasn't like this in the comics whatsoever. Lance was just like kind of like the second in control, and he was cool with his role. He was liking where he was, and yeah, I think that's all about it that I got. I'm gonna be watching the trailer a couple times tomorrow. I'll drop my video for the episode 11 teaser like breakdown either late Sunday, otherwise check for it on Monday. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Let me know how you guys like the episode. Obviously, this one is a little bit tamed down from last week's episode, but that's to be expected. I think they did a good job. It wasn't like it was completely like lame. It was a good slow episode. It was like it wasn't even slow, but like for like just I think you guys know what I mean. Like it was a good slower episode, but it was very good. Like I don't know. We got a feel for what's going on in the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth is way different than anywhere we've been in The Walking Dead so far. So yeah, I'm excited to see what next week brings. It looked like the teaser was crazy. I'm watch that a bunch more after I edit the video. It's about almost 4 in the morning here now. So yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next video. Consider subscribing if you're new to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.